How's it going, everybody? It's Jay from Firebird Films here. Today I'm going to be showing you guys my movie collection. This will just be the Blu-ray portion of it. My friend was asking me, geez, how many Blu-rays do you have? Or how many movies do you have? How'd you get so many? And all I'm going to say is, chores, mowing the lawn, and good deals can get you a long way. So without further ado, let's start off with the first one. So let's start off with the first one here. We have, yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. It's Die Hard. The original Die Hard is one of my favorite action movies of all time, if not my favorite. I like all the sequels except the piece of shit Die Hard 5, but I own Die Hard 2, Die Hard 3, and Live Free or Die Hard. I don't care what anybody says. It's a decent action flick. The section I'm on right now is just like my overall favorite films, basically. So while Star Trek and Star Trek Into Darkness aren't really my favorite films of all time, Star Trek is really like one of my favorite things ever. So I do own Star Trek and Star Trek Into Darkness. The first J.J. Abrams film is actually one of my favorite movies of all time. And I also have Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan and Star Trek IV: The Voyage Home. I would like to get The Undiscovered Country and First Contact because that's like my second favorite Star Trek movie. But until then, I'm happy with these. Jurassic Park and The Lost World. I don't care, I enjoy it. However, Jurassic Park 3 can go die. Toy Story is one of my favorite trilogies of all time, and they're my favorite family movies of all time as well. I love them. It was the first movie, the first one. It's the first movie I ever saw. It's nostalgic. I do own the entire Bond collection, but I do have some individuals, and that's Goldfinger, the original special edition Blu-ray, and Casino Royale, the special edition. More stuff on it. So now on to the comic book movies. Speaking of that, I got The Dark Knight Returns right there. Awesome graphic novel. So let's start off with the Batman movies. Ever Dance with the Devil in the Pale Moonlight? It's the original Batman 1989 film directed by Tim Burton, starring Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson. I do have Batman Returns and Batman Forever on VHS. And then Batman Robin, if I ever did want to watch it, which I probably never will again, it's on Netflix. So you came back to die with your city? No, I came here to stop you. Favorite comic book movies of all time. Then we have the mediocre Green Lantern film starring Ryan Reynolds, which it was a gift. It was one of the first Blu-rays I ever got, so that's why I keep it around. But I'm not a big fan of this one. It's not horrible, but it's not very good. We got Man of Steel. We got the first two Christopher Reeve movies. This is the Richard Donner cut of Superman 2, which I prefer over the original. And then we got Superman Returns, which I will probably never watch again in my life because I wasn't really a fan. And then we got Remember, the 5th of November, V for Vendetta. Awesome. Now onto the Marvel movies. The Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2. I enjoyed 2. I don't care. I love superhero movies and I love Spider-Man. And it was good fan service. I have Spider-Man 3 on Blu-ray. I hope to get the first 2 on Blu-ray since I only have them on DVD, but for now, this will have to do. Again, I don't care. This is a guilty pleasure. Suck my ass. Let's get away from that awkward moment with some X-Men. The first 2 Singer films. X-Men First Class. The Wolverine. And Days of Future Past. I wouldn't mind owning X-Men The Last Stand. It's only $8 at Target for a steelbook, so I'll probably pick it up eventually. Because I don't hate it, but X-Men Origins Wolverine. See, I can't even say it without, like, messing up. X-Men Origins Wolverine, I will never own. Or watch again. Now let's talk about the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I got Iron Man 2. I have Iron Man 1, of course. Thor. Captain America, the First Avenger. The Avengers. Iron Man 3. Thor: The Dark World. Captain America: The Winter Soldier, and I Am Not a Princess, Guardians of the Galaxy. Dredd, awesome, underrated action film. Check it out if you haven't. I want a sequel. Hellboy 2, I still have to get Hellboy 1 on Blu-ray, but I do own it on DVD. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, another underrated film. Edgar Wright, I wish he would direct Ant-Man, but oh well, what are you going to do at this point? And the Ninja Turtles movies. I will not get the new one. I didn't hate it, but I didn't like it very much. Now let's check out some action movies. The first one we got here is The A-Team. I did not really like this movie at all. but it was a gift, and I do kind of feel like an asshole to just give away my gift to a pawn shop or something, but, you know, I might just have to. I don't like this movie. I'm a big Jean-Claude Van Damme fan, and I do like Time Cop and Bloodsport. They're two of his better films, in my opinion. And if you like Van Damme and you haven't seen these, well, that's just weird. Broken Arrow, a very underrated action film that I freaking love. It's goofy, but it's got Christian Slater and John Travolta, and it's directed by John Woo, so it's got that going for it. The Expendables. I do want to get The Expendables 2 because I think it's a much better movie than this one, but I do enjoy this one still. And The Expendables 3 was, it's alright. I think I might just get it just to have all three of them because they are decent action films. If there's like nothing else to watch, just throw these in and have a good time. I want to take his face off. You are good looking. Face Off. It's got a lot of good lines. I'm horrible at doing impersonations of Nicolas Cage and John Travolta, so I'm just going to shut my mouth and say another John Woo action film. Really awesome. Probably his best one. Check it out. Fast and the Furious 1, 3, 5, and 6. I do really like 1, 5, and 6, mainly because 1 is like really nostalgic to me because I watched it when I was young, and 5 and 6 were just fun action movies. I didn't see the third one, and there was no way for me to see it unless I just got the Blu Ray, so I was just like, whatever, I'll buy it, it's cheap. And I don't really regret it, but it's not the greatest movie. It's a decent car chase movie though. There's a lot of good racing and everything in it. It's got that going for it for sure. Justin Lin's definitely the best Fast and Furious director as to this date. First Blood, one of my favorite action films of all time. Stallone, you are awesome. Green Zone, a really intense military thriller starring Matt Damon that's really underrated. It's as good as his, or not as good as his Bourne works, but it's pretty good. Mission Impossible 1, 2, another John Woo movie, 3, and my favorite, Ghost Protocol. Really pumped for Mission Impossible 5. I want more movies out of this series. They're all great. And the last 3 action films I own, or just like, you know, you get it. The Rock, Rocky, favorite movies ever, pretty much. At least the first two. The first one's one of my favorite movies. And Speed with Keanu Reeves, his second best movie in my opinion. Now onto the science fiction section. I got Alien and I got Aliens. I don't have any of the sequels because they all suck. Aliens is definitely my favorite of the two, but this is a very suspense sci-fi thriller. Definitely check both of them out. They're awesome movies. Book of Eli. I've never actually seen this movie. It was a gift. I still haven't watched it. Elysium, one of my favorite films of last year, or 2013. It's not 2014 anymore. Really good movie with Matt Damon, really well directed by Neil Blomkamp. Godzilla. I like this movie, alright? If you don't, that's fine. But I enjoy it. People can complain all they want about there hardly being any Godzilla, because the original films did the exact same thing, alright? You think it's bad enough not seeing enough Godzilla in this movie? Try watching a movie about Ghidorah the three-headed monster, where you're seeing Godzilla fight Rodan throughout the entire movie. You get like these 10-second clips in between all these people talking scenes. Like, give me the damn monster fight between two of my favorite monsters of all time. They completely cock-tease me until the ending, which the rest of the movie was worth it. Just like this movie. The only problem I really have is lack of Bryan Cranston. We needed more. Could have been better, but I still like it. Inception, one of my favorite science fiction films of all time, Christopher Nolan. He's awesome. I love his movies, and I loved Interstellar. It was in my top 10. And then I got Looper, another Joseph Gordon-Levitt movie that is a science fiction thriller. Really good. I freaking love it. I love him and Bruce Willis in this movie. They were both awesome in this movie. Rian Johnson did an excellent job of directing, and Emily Blunt is very attractive. I can imagine that right now you're feeling a little bit like Alice, huh? Traveling down the rabbit hole? The Matrix. One of my all-time favorite movies. I friggin' love this movie. I'm not a fan of the sequels, but this movie's freaking awesome. My favorite Keanu Reeves film. I can't say enough good about this movie. I freaking love it. Pac Rim. For God's sake, people, call it Pacific Rim, please. I don't know why I got the 3D version of it, I just watched the regular Blu-ray. But I really enjoyed this movie. It's one of my favorite films by Guillermo del Toro. It's got awesome robot fighting spectacle, and if the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie has nearly as good of battles as this movie does, I will be satisfied because I freaking loved this movie. Predator. Come on, kill me. What you waiting for? Do it now. I ain't got time to bleed. Predator is really quotable, and I love this movie, and I don't like any of the sequels, as I said before with Alien. But this movie's awesome, and it's one of my favorite Schwarzenegger movies. The Prestige. Another awesome Christopher Nolan movie, Batman vs. Wolverine. Black Widow in the mix. It's nothing like that. But it's awesome, and it's about magic, and it's directed by Christopher Nolan, and it's got a great cast. Rise of the Planet of the Apes and Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Two excellent reboot films. Seriously, both of those movies were awesome. They almost lived up to the original Planet of the Apes film, but nothing beats Charlton Heston. Dead or Alive, You're Coming With Me. The original RoboCop. Don't have the remake, because I did not want the remake. The original, though, is awesome. One of my favorite action films. One of my favorite sci-fi action films. Terminator 2. Talk to the Hand. Fuck you. I used to like this movie, so that's why I bought it back in 2011. I don't like it anymore. Fuck that movie. But the first two movies are masterpieces, and the third one, not too bad. And then the final Arnold film I have on Blu-ray, I think this is the last one, Total Recall. Shit quality, but awesome movie. The Lord of the Rings trilogy. Some of my favorite films of all time. One of my favorite trilogies, along with The Dark Knight and Star Wars and the original Indiana Jones. Just I love these movies. And The Hobbit, An Unexpected Journey, and The Hobbit, Desolation of Smaug. Somehow Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves ended up in here. It's not really fantasy, so I'll find a different place to put it. And this is a movie I'm getting rid of, Wrath of the Titans. Oh, and I accidentally left out Pirates of the Caribbean, the first one. It's the only one I bothered to own. So now thrillers. I got 310 to Yuma, Great Western, Collateral, one of my favorite films, Drive, another one of my favorite films, excellent. Insomnia, great Christopher Nolan film. Memento, another great Christopher Nolan film. Shawshank Redemption, one of my favorite movies. And Scarface. This town is like a great big kitty just waiting to get... I'm trying to censor a great line, I'm sorry. Say hello to my little friend. Got two horror movies, Dawn of the Dead and Friday the 13th, I'll get more soon. Oh, and World War Z, it's not really a horror movie, but it's zombies, so I'll put it with Dawn of the Dead. So I just decided to categorize all the alien invasion movies into one. I got Cowboys vs. Aliens, which I'll probably get rid of soon. Super 8, which is incredibly ambitious, and I freaking loved it. And War of the Worlds, which is pretty decent, but not as good as the original. Oh, and Pulp Fiction snuck out of the thriller section. But we'll just put that with the comedies here, because I also have Superbad, or this is Tropic Thunder. This is Superbad. And Ghostbusters. And the last two movies are two dramas. I got Stand By Me, one of my favorite films, and Warrior, one of my favorite sports films. Yeah, it's up there, because I love a tale of brothers, and I like mixed martial arts, so get a bang for your buck, and also Nick Nolte's good. Oh, and also, there's my Bond set, my Indiana Jones set, and my Back to the Future set. Back to the Future is my all-time favorite movie, along with Star Wars. So it's my entire Blu-ray collection. It took me a very long time to make this video. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing all the movies in my collection. I'll have my videos, my DVDs up soon. So until then, thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Do whatever floats your boat, Billy. Later.